Welcome back, everyone. Today we have some good news for you. I am filming this on the evening of September 17th, and earlier this morning across my social media, which if you're not following me, I absolutely recommend you do. I posted about this and I didn't plan on making a video. I assumed everyone would understand the significance of what I'm about to explain here today, and I got so many questions about it that I put off a product review that I was going to film tonight, and we are going to talk about what happened today in terms of the announcement from the folks over at Franklin Armory of the Antithesis line of firearms, which is important to acknowledge right up front. They are firearms. The legal definition of these under US law that we will get into here in just a second is firearm. It's not short barrel rifle. It's not braced pistol. It's nothing like that. It is a firearm. So what the heck is it? Well, it is a firearm that is going to have several different variations, at least as of what they announced anyway right now, of 5.56 barrels that will be shorter than 16 inches, and they have rifling in them. They are not smooth bore. They have 1 in 9 twist, from what I saw at least anyway on the announcement, rifling in them. And once again, they're firearms. They're not short barrel rifles. So if you want to, run a vertical foregrip on them, you can. They come with stocks. There is no NFA paperwork, all of those sorts of things. So what does that mean for you? Well, again, we just said there's no NFA paperwork, which means it's not on the NFA, National Firearms Act, and that has some advantages to it. Number one, you don't have to do a crazy, insane, enhanced background check with submitting passport photos, fingerprints. It doesn't have to be restricted in terms of who can have it, in terms of like, if you buy it, can your wife take it to the range without being on a NFA trust and all of those sorts of things. It just transfers as a normal firearm on a 4473, which also means that there's no Form 4 that you have to fill out. Additionally, there's no registry listing, so your serial number and your name is not going to be on the National Firearms Act registry, which is a big thing for a lot of people. And it just means, again, travel restrictions, not just who can take the gun where, and it also means that you can take them across state lines without having to fill out a approval form prior to doing so. So all of those advantages of a typical firearm are what this Antithesis firearm offers. Now, how are they able to do that? Well, there's a couple different things that I don't want to say exploited because it's not exploitation. It's actually using the law in the way it was actually written, which is exactly what Congress intended, because Congress is the one who chooses the words that they put in laws, particularly in this case, in the National Firearms Act, as well as the Gun Control Act. So both the Gun Control Act as well as the National Firearm Act define a rifle as a shoulder-fired firearm that fires only a single projectile through a rifled bore. So what they were going for in this case, the folks over at Franklin Armory, was those two terms right there. It's only and single projectile. So if you think about it in the context of something like a 45 long Colt that can also fire 410 shotgun shells, this will start to make more sense to you in the way our firearms laws have worked now for a long time. They're applying a similar concept where a firearm, which is what this is capable of firing multiple projectiles and is designed to do so from the start. So when it says there that it fires only a single projectile through a rifled bore, Franklin Armory made the case that this gun is not designed to do so. It's designed to fire multiple projectiles through a rifled bore, which is exactly what they're doing here and exactly what they spent, I believe, 6 or 8 years going through the court system in multiple lawsuits at different appellate levels, and spent over $1 million with the folks over at FRAC, which if you guys aren't supporting FRAC, I definitely recommend you do. They're a good organization that fights for our rights. They spent years in court making this point, and to that point, the judge in the actual ruling, let me pull it up here, this is going to be the only part I'm actually going to read out loud to you guys here. The judge in the actual ruling said, Franklin Armory designed the Antithesis to fire multiple kinds of ammunition. The weapon does not fire only a single cartridge. Firing multiple projectiles is not incidental or a byproduct. The Antithesis is a square peg, and calling it round will not change how it fits into the round hole of these statutes. Therefore, ATF exceeded its authority by not giving the plain meaning to the words of the statute. And if I remember, I will put a link down below if you guys want to read the entire ruling. Now, it's important to note that ruling was back in February. Early February is when the judge wrote that. And unlike a lot of other types of rulings that we cover here on the channel, it applies nationwide. So it doesn't just apply to this circuit, right? It's not a circuit level ruling. And the reason for that is multiple. But one of them is the fact that the Department of Justice under AG Bondi agreed to settle with them, essentially ending the years of lawsuits and saying that the judge in this case made the right decision, and that will be the decision for the nation. So that is huge, and the timing of that is not an accident. So President Trump, of course, put out his executive order in February of this year as well to protect the Second Amendment, and this was one part of it, and that is when the ruling happened by the Department of Justice to settle on this case and make it, you know, the law of the land, if you will. So that is an excellent thing, and it's one of the biggest things in terms of pro-Second Amendment movements that President Trump has done since he's been in office. There have been several. We have made several videos on them, but this is definitely among the most important for sure. And I just checked my notes before closing out the video, and one thing I want to emphasize that may not be obvious that I thought was going to be obvious is that the concept of that .45 long Colt and .410 shotgun shell, the concept of that, the judge ruled in this case that the concept is transitive, meaning that if it applies to .410 long Colt guns, then it also applies to other calibers and other guns in said calibers that can fire multiple projectiles. So another one that comes to mind very easily is going to be .22. Many of you guys are familiar that .22 has rat shot, 38 Special has rat shot. Now the case Franklin Armory was making is that they were intending their Antithesis to be able to fire similar types of rounds, and that is why it was approved by the judge. And under the actual Gun Control Act and the National Firearms Act, it is considered a firearm. It's the same concept, just it has now been ruled on to be transitive across different calibers and different types of firearms, which is simply fantastic. So what does this mean going forward? Well, again, I'll put up a map here, but this is a nationwide ruling. It is not circuit-wide. I hammer that home. You guys can buy these today. In fact, if you guys follow me on social media that is not Meta, I already shared a link to one of them for folks to pick them up. Franklin Armory is offering them from the factory as factory firearms. Again, I believe they're going to have, at least initially, barrels of 7.5 inches to 12.5 inches available. As important as that is, Franklin Armory, smartly in my opinion, is going to license this design to other manufacturers and importers. So I think the prevalence of these types of firearms that are covered under this precedent and this agreement with the Department of Justice are going to explode. Quite frankly, I think over the next 6 months to a year, you are going to see, I mean, likely millions of these sold, which is a very good thing for many reasons. One of them is going to be the common use argument that many cases rely on as they push pro-Second Amendment issues, whatever the issue is, forward throughout the courts. If something is common use by Supreme Court precedent, it cannot be declared, a dangerous item or a prohibited item, and it can't be banned in any sort of way under the Bruin decision, as well as many other decisions. So this is huge. This very likely, I can't say for sure. I can't predict the future. No one can. This very likely will be the end of SBRs as a class of firearms. There's likely going to be several different court cases that move along, and with the Bruin decision already stating very clearly that SBRs are not dangerous or uncommon or anything like that, and they are not protected. The laws restricting them, I should say, are not protected under Bruin. That in this case as well, I don't see how anyone is going to be able to make the case that SBRs should remain under the National Firearms Act, again, as these cases move forward in the courts. And with that, that's pretty much all I have for you. It should, hopefully you guys understand it now, because again, my social media post, I thought people would understand it, but they didn't. So hence the video. If you guys got something out of this, definitely share the video with your friends so that way folks can learn about the insane laws that we were operating under, and then a little bit of pro-Second Amendment liberties that we got back today, which certainly is a good thing. I should also note, again, this happened, court ruling, in February. The ATF also put out an internal memo dated August 29th, I do believe, off the top of my head, and I'll put that here on your screen, essentially sending that out to all their field offices, letting them know that these firearms exist now and that they are not in any way covered under the National Firearms Act. So it's codified at every level, and these things, like I said, are shipping to your local gun shops right now or to your local distributors if you want to buy them online. So there is that. We have a black helicopter coming overhead, but we are going to continue and close the video out. If you guys like this video and you're not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. It's free, it costs you nothing, it helps the channel out. I truly appreciate it. Additionally, if you guys are subscribed on YouTube and Rumble and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, you are being censored by an algorithm from my content because I'm putting it up. So the easy way to get around that is to sign up for the email at the website here on your screen. This will get you put on 2 different email lists. One of them is just a monthly email that goes out once a month with all the videos since the previous month's email. So that way you guys aren't censored from my content because it goes straight into your inbox, which certainly is nice. Additionally, you can sign up for that email and it'll get you put on another list, which is the daily deals email. So if something, firearms, ammunition, optics, lights, magazines, whatever the case may be, is in that daily deals email on a given day, I have price checked it. So that way the item, whatever it is the cheapest I know of for that item on that day. So that way it saves you guys some money on the deals and hopefully saves you some time as well because I've already done the comparisons for you. And it also has a good meme in there that a lot of folks like. So if you want just a Pro 2A meme, you can sign up for that just by itself and it will go in your email box daily. You will appreciate it. So lastly, we do have an SMS service. You can text the word gear to the number here on your screen on your phone right now, and that will get you signed up for the SMS service that goes out at most once a day. And if it goes out, whatever the SMS is, it's going to be one of 2 things, either a really smoking deal or a new video that just dropped, once again, allowing me to bypass the algorithm and get my content in front of all of you who want to see it. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I also want to thank the folks over at Franklin Armory for taking up this cause, because again, it cost them over $1 million to do so, and hopefully they make that all back, plus, you know, exponentially more by selling and licensing this technology and these firearms. So definitely good on them. I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video.